Ladies and gentlemen, K-Team here. Welcome to the Daily Updates. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down 1% there. On the S&P, Nasdaq did the same. Semiconductor down 3%, Dow 1%, Russell 2002. Transport is also down about 0.7% there. Banks 2% negative. Energy 0.7. Biotech also got hit. Healthcare there down 0.5%. Holding a little better there. Healthcare, however, Home Depot does, however, down 2% today. Look at this, utilities and emerging market is printing green today. However, retail down 0.7%, Bitcoin down 2%. A star of the day today is the metals here. You can see gold, silver, miners shining green today. Notably, miners up 7%. When was the last time we saw miners up 7%? I don't think we've seen anything like that over a year. I know metals, they've been struggling all throughout last year. I wonder they're gonna see some light and traction to the upside this year. Dollar pretty much flat there. Oil up slightly. Treasury bond. Interesting. VIX is only up 4%, while the equity is down close to 1 to 2% today. Let's look at the S&P 500 ETF. Spider. 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed yesterday, and it looks like we slightly gapped up here, right? This is where we opened up. So we actually gapped up, and you can see on that upper wick, bulls went for that right out the gate to go after this gap. However, you know, when this gap is pretty sizable gap down, especially we're well below my short-term moving average, well below my mid-term moving average. We're hanging around in my long-term moving average with the big gap down. We're in a short to mid-term downtrend here. We talked about this week. The first hour move quickly got faded, and that was second. Third hour, a little bit of move, nothing much. My long-term moving average acting as a resistance there. And looks like the buyers, these short-term buyers, pretty much given up on the last hour. You can see here, everybody's bailing here, getting scared, getting stopped out. So you can see on the last hour candle there, definitely fear continues on today. Benefit of the doubt obviously continues to go to the sellers. As you can see, we're below now the short-term moving average, my mid-term moving average, and my long-term moving average. And you might look at this and say, well, that looks very, very bad, Kay. Well, if I zoom out here, actually, you can see that if we look at things in the kind of a longer to mid-term of things, we actually been in trendless environment. We're not yet in actually a downtrend in the mid to longer term. If anything, we're still in the long-term higher low vicinity. We're still kind of in that sideways market. So as we zoom out here, things are starting to get hectic, and which we talked about. You know, we might see something like this towards you know, the rest second half of this January, now that we're not able to reclaim the short term or mid term, or that down gap still remaining open here. But right now we're sitting right on that 450, 150, and that's a prior support. Bears managed to push it all the way down. Their next level of gap is we have that 448 or so. That's the level gap that we opened up. Bulls opened up. This is back in October, so we haven't filled that gap. And there's one attempt right here. You see this right here? And this was back in what? Early December. So bulls might want to retest. They probably want to fill this gap. If this gap doesn't get filled and act as support once again, I'm pretty sure bulls going to get up here trying to fill this gap. So what the bears need to do, get down here and fill this. And obviously, bears want to fill all of these gaps. The challenge is, though, these gaps will provide support. So, you know, anytime when we're dealing with longer-term uptrend, you know, overall sentiment, these gaps will rather, you know, be used as that cushion. So keep that in mind. We want to respect the long-term uptrend, the overall trend. We are dealing with the short-term fluctuations and bearishness, right? We've seen this happening before here. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. let's not get too emotional. Let's not try to call tops here, because how many times you've been doing this for the last 2 years and got burned badly. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We must learn to respect the overall trend while we deal with short to mid-term shenanigans and weakness in the market. And it's given, that's what it's gonna do. Market has seen a great year in 2020 and 2021, and market needs to digest the gain anyway. So going into tomorrow, I have to say, a benefit of the doubt continues to go to the bears at this point. Bulls' objective is gotta fill this gap as quickly as possible. The longer this down gap remains open, the more hectic and miserable it's gonna be for the bulls. So let's check out the oscillator and see if we can extract any more information. So this is another thing that I kind of was talking about. This oscillator is broken or something, because this thing has been coming down ever since we saw that big gap down, and we're moving sideways here. And we kind of talked about that, it's like right here where things were acting strange. This is more like pancake though. It's really like, pressed down and then coiling up here. Market is always kind of good at like, bringing the new sentiment. I'm talking about the oscillator because I don't know, last time we saw the oscillator acting like this. It's crazy sometimes how, I always like to say this market is insidiously clever, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, you expect that this market, this thing is probably at extreme oversold at this point. No, it's not. We're not at oversold. There's a couple things. So that's oversold right here. You see this? Well, that's oversold. We're not oversold. So there's a couple things. Oscillator is not oversold, meaning bears actually could still push it one more day if they really want to. But when the oscillator is acting strange, sometimes you kind of feel like, well, is bulls up to something here at this point? What are they doing here? What are they up to? So while we give benefit of the doubt to the sellers, the bears, we do have a short-term downtrend with the lower highs and lower lows. Until that's broken, we need to respect the fact that in the short term, bears are in control. But the oscillator is kind of like can't make up its mind. It's just kind of moving sideways. I wonder if bulls are kind of biding its time to, just because we're in, again, overall uptrend. We've seen this happen over and over again last couple years since the COVID lows. I wonder bulls gonna trying to pull another trick here, but we don't have any evidence of this. Going into tomorrow, let's continue to give benefit of the doubt to the bears. Let's continue to expect the weakness until the bulls change its sentiment, but at the same time, you want to give respect its overall uptrend in the long term of things. I'm gonna come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.